Hey, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing better. Things are looking up. I'm gonna hop right into what I need to talk about. Um, I'm first off gonna start off by saying, if you don't know what a PSYOP is, I suggest you look that up and you do some research, like among other things, because oh my gosh, anyways, I'm just gonna hop into it like I said. So, you know how I made that video on June the 16th? I made it early before that, but I actually uploaded it on June the 16th. One month, 1 month later, on July the 16th, I ended up in a hospital, right? A psych hospital. I didn't actually go into the psych ward to be evaluated or anything like that because I'm sane, like thanks to God. Um and even me being there has nothing to do directly, like somewhat it does, but what I'm talking about right now is the George Floyd case specifically because that's what I had been emotionally worked up on. And so now that I'm in the place that I am, I'm aware of a couple of things. The police aren't the enemy, and racism is a scam and a tactic used to divide and conquer. Because I know in the last video, or second to last video that I uploaded, I said, that's the last time that the police will ever be intimately involved with my life. But that's not true. I have called them recently because they're there to serve and protect, right? I live in Canada, so it's a little bit different. But even still, but who even knows? Who knows what's real? Who knows what's real at this point, you know? Sorry about that. Um, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't invest any energy that you really don't have to, because there are a lot of false flags out there and a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and the average person like you and I are being played like pawns because it's so easy to take advantage of our empathy or compassion or just anger, personal trauma, because that's really what, after the George Floyd thing, I just started thinking about so many other things in my life that I've thought about before. And I was thinking about it from a personal and subjective point of view and the things that I've gone through. And obviously, that's really the main lens that I can look at life through, even if I try to put myself in somebody else's shoes, you know? But that's when Yahweh comes in because he literally took the scales off of my eyes. And I've noticed that throughout the years, whenever he's tried to wake me up, I end up dozing off again. But now I'm on to the shenanigans. I am on to the shenanigans. Yeah, it's been a long year, but I've learned a lot. And I've made a lot of mistakes. And I've had to endure a lot of things being done to me. Oh my gosh. A lot of people who grew up in an abusive home know that sometimes that dynamic can kind of follow you around. And um, not a lot of abuse that you're gonna find out in the world, because it doesn't even have to be like your significant other. There's just, people can sniff that kind of stuff out, like, and, it's just, I know I'm a little bit all over the place right now, but you'll know what I mean if you've like seen my other videos. And I have actually taken down some videos in this month that were not, they weren't good. They didn't, I made them like while I was in an emotional state, like I did with that George Floyd video. But I'm so glad. I'm so glad that that was documented, because me then and me now are completely transformed, like completely. And like, it's just really hard to put into words, other than I feel like the wool was pulled over my eyes. And the same thing happened to me like earlier this year when like I was like, I don't even know what the drama was about, but I was still paying attention to YouTube drama. And then it like dawned on me that Jeffree Star just was not a good person, and there was no need for me to like, I mean, okay, there was no need for me to accept his apology when he was in that Mr. Rogers sweater with like, very like light makeup, and he's like, because what he was apologizing for was sounding ignorant. He was apologizing for sounding ignorant towards his fans, instead of apologizing to the people who could have and were offended by him using racial slurs. So that should have been my first clue. But like a lot of things have been coming out, and not even on YouTube, like I cannot express to you how grateful I am to like have things unveiled. Of course, sometimes it's really overwhelming. Like, I know that I made like a 2-second clip about like Black is King, but seriously, like that upset me for a long time. Like the whole Beyonce situation, because you're just gonna have to look into that yourself. Okay, because she gets no more clout on my channel. Because when I was a child, my parents, like, like most little girls, it's like, oh my God, look at her. She's so successful. She's so hardworking. But do y'all know what they be doing behind the scenes? Do you know? And then on top of that, it's election season. So there's all this like energy, like it's so, like people are so anxious. And, I don't live in the States, but I can only imagine what it's like, because I've just been observing, and no, I've actually been absorbing a lot of like, what's been happening in the States, because I used to live in Georgia. So I can kind of relate, and like some of my family lives in the States as well. So it would just be like, weird for me not to be updated. But the news is propaganda. Like the news is propaganda. Just like turn your TV off and call your loved one, okay? Like just call them, make sure that they're okay. Invest your energy and emotion into that, because like these people out here, these puppeteers, these powers that be are playing on your emotions. They played me. They played me like a fiddle, bro. But it's okay. It's all good, because you know what? I've said this and I will say it again. All good things work for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. So now, I've been called, okay? And I have chosen to answer. So, like I said, I have had quite a few bloopers this year. I have messed up. I've like stumbled. I have like, oh my gosh, it's just been a mess. And I'm trying to like get myself back together, because, like how it's just, do you guys realize that we're living in real relations, or like what? I'm not saying that to be like, get your crap together, whoever's watching this, but like, this is crazy, right? Like, this is crazy. Hang on a second. I have to fix my hair. It's unfixable. But like this, don't mind the mess in the back. This is crazy.